Okay, so this is the website recap, and I'll just sign in with my email. In order for you to get on it as a teacher, you have to go through a desktop or a laptop. You cannot use an iPad, which I discovered. Um, so I'm not sure why everything's running super slow here at my school, but anyway, you're going to log in with an email. Once you log in to the teacher page, you will see different options for setting this up. Okay, so here we are logged in, and you see I already have an assignment here for equivalent fractions set up. The students will receive a pin, and that's how they can get into the assignment. To start a new assignment or a new class, all you do is click the add, and you would put in your topic. So for instance, I could put in author's point of view. Then you would select the subject, but you don't have to, that's optional, but you can. And then you would go down once you select the subject. Let me see it. I guess I'll just do ELA. There we go. Then you select the grade, and you can choose join pin only, or if your students have an email, they can do that. I teach third grade, so for me, it's easier just to give them a pin number than to have them type in an email address and all that. So I do join pin only. Then when you go here, you hit add, and you will notice when you get here, it will give you the pin number for that activity. So this is the pin number. You can copy it. I like to make it onto a Word document and post it in my room so my students can use that. So you can reset it if you want something easier, and then that's how they will log in. And I'll show you how to get into the student one in just a second. So here you can add questions to the journey. You can say, okay, author's point of view, who is telling the story, and what or how do they feel about the situation. So that's a broad thing, so they could listen to any story. I might use it as a thing in my classroom where kids choose a story, they listen to it, they tell me who's telling the story, and then how do they feel. Send that out, and once you see it sent out, there's the question, and it'll start telling you when the students have commented. Now, this is just one way that you can go about using this. A new thing that they've set up, which I hate to say this, but Recap is actually not going to be available after June. They're joining a different company called Synth. So this actual website will be shut down, but you could use it through them. But anyway, so you can look at the video responses. And one thing I like about this this app is that when students respond, you can also set up polls where they can say, I got it, I didn't get it, I don't understand, I need more help, those kind of things. But when they go in, they can answer the question. You can go through and look at your video responses. You can share the video responses with your class, so that can spark more discussion. And it'll let you know if the students have commented. So I could be the first to start it. I could say that the older brother is telling the story. He does not like to do chores. And then I can send that. Now they can send a comment that way, or they can send a comment by video response. So the students can choose. If you go here to video responses, this is where it will pull it up and show you the responses. Now, obviously, I don't have any yet because my students have not completed that. But I can enter a question here, and then the students, all they would have to do is click record video, and that would work that way. So if I wanted to say, how does the author, if we're doing a nonfiction text, feel about using, I think we're going to be doing one about chemicals in plants, so using chemicals on plants. And I could do that, and then my students, I could record a video. So in order to do that, you have to have a webcam, and I don't have one on my teacher camera, so I would have to put that video in. But you can record a video, and then you can hit next. And what it will do is it will send that question out to the students, and then they can respond. And you can see how how you want it. Do you want only audio? Do you want public? How do you want it set up? And then you can choose also the recording time for the students. So if you don't want to allow them a lot of time to speak, if you want to give them 10 seconds, whatever, you can choose from 15 to 5 minutes. And so I'm going to choose 15 seconds. And then you can also pick a due date, send it out to your students. So that's another way you can do it. One of the new things that they've added on this website that I like about it is they've added these things called journeys. I'm sorry, my internet is running really slow. And I'm going to show you, I've actually started one. I definitely suggest you have a webcam, because if you don't have a webcam, it's going to be very hard to complete this activity. So, unfortunately, at my school, I do not have one of those. So you can start a journey to introduce a topic. And one thing you can do, you can go to Discover here at the top. And there are journeys that have already been created that you can just send out to your class. So if I wanted to choose a journey, I can search. So if I wanted to go over here, you can search by grade level. So if I go to 3 to 5, third grade, it will bring up some different third grade activities. And I can see growth mindset, triangles, safety, digital citizens. So that's something we had to do. So let's go here and look at this. The full journey. And so when you pull this up, it will take you through steps. And that's why it's called a journey, because students aren't just answering one question. They're taking different steps to figure out the answer. So if you look here, there's a video and it says step 1, how do you think he felt when he was called slowpoke, weird? And then it gives you a link to connect to. How do you treat others online? Another link. Step 3, create a comic strip. So here the students are not just talking and having conversation, but they're actually creating something. So you can see the video here. This teacher has recorded for her students.
Where is the line between hurtful and harmless? How can we solve some of these problems online?
So as a teacher, you can pose questions for your students and you can set that up. And then down here you can see, obviously there's no comments yet because I haven't sent it out, but you can send out this journey to your students, and you as a teacher could pose a new question. And then they just would follow these steps. And once they click on the link, it brings up the new thing. So it's really neat, because if you really don't have time to create one yourself, you can just go online and see if there is one. So if I want to create this for my students, I can hit Save to Library, and it will save it to my journeys. So when I go back to my library, there it is. Now it's available. So I can send that out to my students. Okay? And in order to send that out to my students, I would just click on it. Go here. I might add a question. I don't have to. I can send this just the way it is. So if I want to just send it the way it is, I can add it to one of mine that I've already chosen. Now, it doesn't really go with author's point of view or equivalent fractions. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to create a new cue. I have two going. I have equivalent fractions and author's point of view. So I want to start a new one. So I'm going to go here to this box as soon as it pulls up. When I go to my cues, I'm going to add a new cue, and I'm going to do internet safety and pen only, add. Now I can go back to my library. And I can go to that internet safety discovery journey, and I can add it to my internet safety queue. So I click on internet safety, select, and now it has been sent out to my kids, and I can give them that pin for them to log in and complete this activity. One of the things that I want to share is the importance of student conversation. I know that's really important in the classrooms. So this is a great way to spark student conversation. And like I said, you can share the videos as a class, or students can just get on there and look at them online. So it's a really neat way to spark conversation, to get students started talking, and to also just share important things that they need to know and give them different outlets to express their learning. So like in this one, they're creating a comic strip. In this one I've set up for equivalent fractions. I actually started a journey, so I can go here and show you the one that I started for equivalent fractions. Unfortunately, I don't have a webcam on my computer here at school, so I'll have to record that and upload it later. But here I had this, what is the equivalent? So I started with what is the equivalent of 2/3. Watch each video and then explain how you came up with your answer. So here's step 1. I used some Khan Academy videos. Step 1 just basically explains to them what an equivalent fraction is. Step 2 explains to them how to find the equivalent. So they would watch the 2 videos. Here's an image of 2/3 so that they can see the fraction. And then I have it set up. So there it's saved, and I can send that pin out to my students and they can use that. So anyways, it's a great app. I would like to show you the student app, and I'll post that in the next video of how the students can get on and use this and complete these activities. So I'll have to get on my iPad to do that, so just watch for that. All right, and that's that.